Hey y'all, it is March the 31st, 2020, 26. And y'all, I sprained my ankle earlier. I don't want to show you the rest of my body because I'm naked. I'm not all the way naked, but I'm not dressed properly. But I did want to say this while it's on my mind, There's plenty of things to think about these days, but in regards to the people over there at TPUSA, Turning Point USA, and on the Charlie Kirk show, which is still a thing. They're still doing the Charlie Kirk show over on the Charlie Kirk channel. May he rest in peace. But okay, so you probably have reached this conclusion. Lord knows, everybody in the comments section, they all reached this conclusion too as well. That TPUSA, the constituency, to include, what's her name? Kirk. The Lady Kirk. Gosh dang it. I forget her name right now. And I'm sure that would piss her off a lot. But to include her, guilty of something, dude. Like, guilty of something. You're acting so guilty. And it's amazing the show is being put on for the entire world. And we're all watching it. A lot of people are watching it. So, I would say the more fervent crowd of people, it seems to outnumber the other side is people who are like very suspicious of y'all. And they really don't like how y'all are acting. So, and we're pretty sure that you're covering up some stuff, and so is the feds. And y'all are working in tandem, pulling in damn near billions of dollars. Alright, so it's kind of lucrative. Alright, but I wanted to mention this. Okay, pretty much, the big news as far as like a day or so ago, what the ATF concluded about the round, the fragments or whatever that they found, says basically inconclusive. Everything's going wild. I watched some Candace, and she's very convincing. She's been very convincing for a long time now. Like, I might be dumb, but she's kind of convincing. Alright, so everybody is pretty well sure that y'all are not acting right, and you're getting all sort of money, and you're not exactly acting like Charlie did. And supposedly Charlie was really against this war with Iran. And so is most people. We don't want that. We didn't vote for that. Nobody asked us whether or not we wanted to do something like that. They took it upon themselves, and they say Donald Trump is going crazy and losing his mind. Isn't that an interesting development? So, TPUSA, you already just look suspect. But for example, I was watching, because I was curious, and I went to the TPUSA, I went to like the Charlie Kirk show channel on YouTube, and I wanted to see if these guys had the nerve. I forget what's their names. I know Candace has mentioned it 1,000 times, but Tyler Boyer, that's one guy's name. And then there's like this effeminate bald man, a cartoon character, if you will, like the exact definition of feminine man, and he's like the co-host. Nobody believes y'all, and I'm not trying to convince anybody of anything, but I'm just saying one thing there's so many things, but one thing that I wanted to point out was that if y'all think, because you want to dispel any kind of, you're not curious at all about perhaps your friend, maybe something else might have happened to him, or something more might have happened to him. Like, for example, I heard that Tyler Boyer boy, and he was saying, oh man, Charlie, for years, he was talking about, never once did he ever mention Jews. It's always made about the Jews. We're talking about the Israeli government here. That's not all the Jews in the world. So they're like, oh man, they're not very curious, right? And they're saying he ain't never said Jews, he's never afraid of Jews, even though people were like mentioning that, to the contrary. Plus, he was very against the Iran war. I would imagine y'all at Turning Point USA right now, if I watched y'all more so, I would find out that y'all are very for the Iranian war, securing us quite confidently into World War IV, or whatever the last war, perhaps. Because y'all think something about coaxing the Messiah or something like that with war. I don't know. I just assume that y'all are for the Iranian war, even though I heard Charlie Kirk was very against it before his untimely demise. The Tyler Boyer said, hey, Charlie ain't never mentioned any sort of fear of repercussions from such powerful people such as the Israeli government. Working in tandem with our government, you can't tell who's more powerful. They're all evil as shit. And they want constant, forever wars, meat grinders that don't ever stop. They say, oh, everybody in Iran is out to get us. And I don't know. I just don't know anything about that. Right, but he said for years, this is what Tyler said. He said for years, Charlie Kirk has been talking about that he's afraid that some furry or a furry boyfriend would come kill him. He didn't talk about a specific one. He said, allegedly, is what Tyler says. He says that Charlie was talking about trans-Tifa. If you don't know what that is, allegedly it's like trannies who are very for Antifa. It's like transgender members of Antifa, and I don't know that there's no Antifa that isn't a little bit transgender. I have no idea, but they created a separate subgenre called trans-Tifa. I wish I was making any of this up. This is all well documented. So Tyler said Charlie, he's so afraid of trans-Tifa was going to come get us and kill us. Kill him, namely. He's more so afraid that trans-Tifa was going to come and assassinate Charlie Kirk. You know what's interesting about that? Y'all are in this organization, you call it Turning Point USA, and shouldn't y'all be on the same wavelength or a similar wavelength as Charlie? Like, if Charlie is against the trans indoctrination, right, to be specific, then wouldn't the whole Turning Point USA, y'all be against it too? That would make y'all targets as well. It's so wild that after this untimely demise of your friend, and now you're getting all sort of money. It's so wild that you want to convince everybody. You're trying very hard to convince everybody that not only did Tyler Robinson do it with who knows what gun, I don't know. Okay, it was definitely that rifle, even though it's very inconclusive. You want not only for us to think it's Tyler Robinson, and you're desperate for that to be the case, but absolutely nobody else. And that's like that little bombshell I wanted to drop. You're not curious at all. You just talked about trans-Tifa, some large, expansive sect of Antifa a murderous rage. He said Tifa was out to get Charlie, but there's no possible way, and you're not curious at all. You're in fact very discouraging of anybody pondering the idea of accomplices in this matter. It said Tifa, like it's an organization, but you're not curious if there's accomplices. You want to dispel all rumors so that you can somehow get justice for your very good friend. And you're not even the slightest bit scared. Okay, I'm not sure y'all have security, but if it was really like that, and the Tifa was out to get everybody and stuff, y'all would be scared shitless, and you'd be like raising the alarms right now. Like, I'm very scared that people could pop up out of the woodworks. Trannies and Antifa can just come and shoot us all up, and we all need to be like very concerned about it because they got Charlie, and that's just who. It's like, no, you're not curious. It's as though Tifa, this group that you're trying to blame, they're not a factor anymore, and you're completely incurious as to whether or not Tyler even had accomplices. Why? Because if Tyler has accomplices, hypothetically, now you got to kind of like find them, bring them to justice. They might sing, they might tell you what they know, and guess what? That's going to lead to more and more and more accomplices, probably. But y'all don't want that. And we're in the end of like an era. We're in the end of our lifestyles, that's for sure. Some people call it the end of days and stuff, and I would pretty much agree. And we're watching a show that's so unbelievable. It's like you're putting on a clinic for how to lie in the most preposterous way, the most unbelievable way. It's completely unbelievable on so many levels that I don't even think we're going to find all the levels of how much y'all are fucking liars. Anyways, I'll talk to y'all maybe I'll talk to y'all later.